Good to see you guys.
Nice to see you too.
You too.
Hi, Amanda.
Amanda, hi. Amanda, say something.
What did you say?
We're just testing your, see if we can hear you.
No.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and try to get started? So a lot of what we're doing today is trying to start and test out a few capabilities for us about how to connect with researchers around the world and how to really try to make the most out of this community effort to further research on FAP. So one of the ideas was that we could have regular meetings to touch base and try to understand what's going on around the world, who's working on what projects, as well as give support and advice on methodology and just kind of logistical practices. So we're really trying to facilitate that sort of collaboration. And then we also talked about having different research presentations where we can go over some of the projects that are going on. If a person completed a project and got in touch with results, that hopefully we can disseminate sorry, one second, disseminate the results quicker this way. So Meg, you're saying the audio is rough, is it just really distorted?
I think I'm getting some interference from Jonathan and Adam and Victor.
Oh, here, let's turn down. See if that's helpful.
How's that now?
Can you talk again, Daniel?
Hey, Daniel, say something. Daniel, I think what's happening is Daniel talks, it comes through the speakers, then comes in.
Yeah, so are we getting less feedback now?
Yeah, it says when it says active speaker, it goes between Daniel and Jonathan and Adam just when Daniel's talking.
Okay. So we were getting feedback then. So hopefully it will be better now. Jonathan, you might keep your microphone muted until someone over there wants to speak or something like that. All right. There we go. So yeah, we're hoping to get some research presentations going, collaborate on ideas, and just facilitate communication as much as possible so that everything can be really communicative and that we can continue working together and supporting one another and every research endeavor out there. So as part of what we were doing, I wanted to just take today to test out Adobe Connect as kind of a way of communicating with this and seeing what we think of it, as well as also giving us a chance to introduce everyone, hear a little bit about the Research Center out in Seattle, as well as just hearing what everyone has going on as much as possible. So I think what I'd like to do, if it's okay with everyone, is just start out with Jonathan, if you could talk a little bit about the center, and then what we can do is we can go around, talk about where we're at and what research interests we have, and just get an idea of what's going on. Does that sound all right? All right, fantastic. I'll hand it over to you, Jonathan.
All right. Well, so first of all, how's the volume? Is this okay? Can I get some text feedback or chat feedback that this is not really difficult to hear? Good, good, good. Lindsay, good. Yana, good. All right. Then I will keep talking just like this. I don't know what to say. I know a lot of you know some about the center already from talks at ACBS and elsewhere, but I'll just give a couple of big ideas about it to see if this is what you're hoping for, Daniel. First of all, I want to say that we have a very specific agenda here, and the agenda developed through really years of talk with as many people as possible, me just getting lots and lots of feedback from people about what we think FAP needs to grow and what we think FAP needs to make it possible to do more research on it and to disseminate FAP and to evaluate FAP as best as possible. And so the agenda really is that. And the reason I say that is that's actually different, very different from what I would be doing if it was just my own interests and my own sort of passions. I'm not against this agenda. I think it's the right agenda, but I just want to say that it really is meant to be a collaborative agenda that I'm taking the lead at executing it, but I'm really trying to listen to everybody around the world, what is needed, listen for the problems that have been in FAP research traditionally and fix them, rather than just doing what I personally am interested in. If it was just what I personally am interested in, it would be a much weirder, stranger agenda. We plan to spend most of this initial period just developing measures, and there's 4 measures that we're trying to develop right now. 4. So one is what many of you know, what we're calling the Awareness, Courage, Love Survey. And the Awareness, Courage, Love Survey is meant to be a very traditional, not particularly behavior analytic, self-report measure of how aware, courageous, and loving somebody is. And it's meant as a potential measure of outcomes in FAP therapy that can be used by both researchers and clinicians. It's meant to be clinically useful and as an outcome measure, just getting at these repertoires of awareness, courage, and love. And so it's just a traditional self-report measure, but hopefully functional thinking and an appreciation of awareness, courage, and love as functional classes is in this measure. But we'll see how it turns out. And then the second most important measure we're working on is the FAP competency scale. And the FAP competency scale is what are the skills necessary for a FAP therapist to be doing FAP well? And can we measure that by watching a FAP therapy session and give ratings with respect to how competent the FAP skills are? And both of these measures, the FAP competency scale and the Awareness, Courage, Love survey, really represent this new direction we're going in with Awareness, Courage, Love very much at the center of the FAP model. The FAP rules are still there. Hopefully functional thinking is still there. Behavior analysis is still there. But at least in this center, we're really focused on this idea of awareness, courage, and love as a model of social connection that is both targeted by FAP and is the FAP process. So I'm doing a lot of work on that conceptual model and on getting that into the FAP competency scale and into the ACL survey. I can send everyone a paper. I've sent it to Daniel, I believe, right? And I think Alessandra, maybe most of you, Yana. Anyway, I'll make sure everyone here has this paper that Gareth, myself, and Chad worked on. Daniel's just messing with our format here. It's all fine, right? And I'll make sure everyone has this paper about the awareness, courage, love model. Hopefully, it's a useful model. You can see that I'm very distractible, Daniel. That's not me. Oh, okay. Anyway, so one measure is the Awareness, Courage, Love survey. Who's doing that? It was Lindsay. Well done, Lindsay. One measures the awareness, courage, love. Oh, it's Yana. Hi, Yana. One measure is the awareness, courage, love survey. One measure is the FAP competency scale. One measure is the mobile phone app. We're essentially trying to take awareness, courage, love and design a mobile phone app so a client can track, like a diary card or like a risk log, track awareness, courage, love on their phone and then send that to the therapist. And that also would be for both research and clinical purposes. And then I said there were 4 measures, but the 4th measure I don't want to talk about right now. So that's one of the things we're doing, is just trying to develop measures because we believe we need these measures in place in order to do the research, obviously. And then the second thing is the RIS, the Relationship Improvement Study. This is an experimental preparation that we can do in the lab. If you were at ACBS, you saw it, where we're essentially testing the awareness, courage, love model with undergraduates as research participants and trained undergraduates as research assistants, and they engage in a little interaction, and we see if we can increase social connection in their interaction. And I could spend more time on that because I think it's a really fun research experiment that lots of people can play with and lots of people can do, and we can do lots of different things with it. So we're doing the measures, we're doing the experiment in the lab, the relationship improvement study, and then we're doing some outcome studies. We're starting a study on essentially a FAP workshop to decrease racism between black and white people here in the United States. We're starting a couple of FAP studies on what Mavis has called Intimacy Now, which is essentially like a FAP online training, but it's done live and it's done with any 2 people who want to get closer to each other. So Adam and I could decide that we want to get closer, we could do it. It could be a husband and a wife, it could be a father and a daughter. Any 2 people who want to improve the closeness in their relationship can come to these groups. They meet once a week, and they're led by 2 coaches, and they essentially go through stuff that you're all familiar with from online trainings. Mavis is designing this. Meg, it's similar to what you guys are doing just for couples. I actually kind of like your protocol better, as I've said, but we're doing something pretty similar here. Bob is very interested in what he's been calling the brief mindfulness study, which is essentially taking a traditional meditation and sort of fapping it up. So it's still just like an hour long, but we add sort of an interaction to it, and we're showing that we can both increase mindfulness and increase social connection if we add this FAP component to the mindfulness intervention. And then Bob is also, if any of you were at the, no, none of you were. Well, Meg was. His augmental study. Oh, I'll save talking about the augmental study for another time. But Bob's actually very interested in commercials? I don't know what you want to say.
Commercials, radio segments.
He's very interested in brief, packaged presentations like a commercial or a song that has an emotional impact on people and then may lead people to engage in more social connection. He's calling it augmentals. And then we're designing, but we haven't gotten there yet, a bigger FAP RCT to test just the effects of FAP as a therapy, but we're not there yet. So I feel like I'm just rambling, and this is hard for everyone to follow without slides and stuff. But that's sort of the big idea. We're developing measures. We're doing a series of little intervention studies. We're doing this experiment in the lab. We're trying to do a variety of things to stimulate people. Some will be more interesting for some people than others, but we're trying to do a variety of things. And then we're also just trying to support as many outside researchers as we can. Daniel, what am I forgetting?
I think you're really covering most of everything that we have going on right now. The stuff that I have been talking about is all things that we're looking to implement and upcoming. You have your little whiteboard of projects that I saw at one point, but I think you covered a lot of that. Thank you very much.
Through the whole thing in more detail, but I'm scared I would lose people, and I think it would be better to have more of an interaction. But I think the main thing I want to say is in doing this research center agenda, I've tried to be really sensitive to what, from my experience talking with people over the years, from what has been working and not working in FAP research and what the difficulties many people have had doing FAP research are, and really trying to move things in a different direction to make FAP research easier to do for more people. And a lot of that direction involves putting this ACL model really in the center of what we're doing. And some people aren't going to like that. I think some people are going to want to be more traditional behavior analytic in how they approach research. And that's great too. I want to support that too. I don't think there's just one way to do this. Other people may have lots of other ideas about how to do FAP research, and that's great too. Like I said, there's not one way to do it. But I had to make some decisions about what I thought was most useful and productive to move forward, and I wanted it to be I wanted to produce a coherent research agenda that was moving a model forward that I thought could be used by other people rather than just doing a bunch of little projects. So I've been putting a lot of work into that model and trying to get it right. And I'll share with you guys what I have on it right now. So if other people should say stuff.
Just click right on the mic.
Yeah, why don't we open it up right now, and if we can just kind of, looking at the participants list on the right-hand side, going from top to bottom, you could just introduce yourself, speak a little bit about research interests, what you have going on. So Alessandro, I'm kind of putting you on the spot as the first person. And just sharing a little bit about what's going on and communicate. I know that a lot of us know each other already, but being up to date, I think, is a really important part of what we're doing here.
Are you listening to me? Yeah, okay. So I don't know what to say. I am Alessandra. I'm from Brazil. I work with FAP here, and I am doing my PhD, doing research about FAP. Victor is also from my lab, who is there with Jonathan and Adam. At the lab, we have some FAP research happening. Victor and I are making research about components of FAP. I'm sure Victor can talk more about his research, but mine is about Rule 5 and CRB3 and how the rules can be helpful for FAP or not. Rules that the client and the therapist are making about the relationship. And it came up that in my research, we didn't have clear data about these, and it is more a methodological discussion right now than anything else, I guess. But what else? There is more happening in the lab. There is workshop research being done. It is right in the beginning, but to see the outcomes of the workshop. Also, Rodrigo just started in the program, and he's going to research with FAP with children. So I think this is going to be interesting too. And I don't know. I think that's it. Milena just finished her work too, and she makes some study. I study about FAP working to block avoidance, to talk about difficult stuff that happened in the past, and she has nice outcomes too about how FAP works in sessions. And yeah, in general, I think that's it.
Should we go to Meg? Oh, there you are. Daniel is typing.
Okay. Do you hear me? Okay. Well, my name is Amanda Munoz. I'm from Colombia. Right now, I'm packing my stuff because I'm going to Reno just in a few days. But I've been working. I've been working on FAB from I don't know 4 or 3 years ago, and we were working especially in mechanisms of change in FAB, how function rule 2, rule 3, and in this moment we are working with rule 5 and CBR, CRB2 actually, and we are trying to do some translational research. Actually, we are working with clients and we are working with participants in the lab in autoclinics as a special CRB at 3, I think. So we have been working in that and in practical stuff. We have been working on intimacy stuff with different population, gay population, and children too. We have working on BA2 with combination with FAP too. So have been a lot of work, practical work and translational work. That two things have my main interest. I'm pretty interested in to work about randomized control trial with personality disorders. I think I will discuss that with Bill Follett when I'm in there. I don't know what kind of things he could uh, think about working in that, but that's my interest. My interest has been in translational research and trying to find some methods to to be a better FAB, I think. How to try to do that with groups and these kind of things. And in this moment, I have a group in here that will start to work on compassion and intimacy, and they have trying to validate some instruments in here, and with trying to develop a methodology with clients. That is the kind of thing that they will work in here when I go on from here. That's my work.
Can you hear me? Okay, so my name is Joanna. I'm from Poland, and right now we are not really doing anything in Poland around FAP research, but I want to start that. So right now I'm trying to translate some materials and write an article on FAP in Polish. And I'm going to plan some research, hopefully. Thank you. That's all.
I swear.
You're Lindsay's voice.
I'm Lindsay. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I have a face, I swear.
No.
And, well, the thing I want to say to you is that, well, I'm working with Chad Wetterneck right now, finishing up my thesis using the FAP intimacy scale, looking at intimacy in therapists in training. And I don't like public speaking too much, so I'm distracting Lindsay.
I think it counts.
Oh, I see.
So far, so good.
And she's still typing. I'm still typing. I'm still thinking about what I want to say. I'm just starting my dissertation work at Western Michigan University. I'll be working with Scott Gaynor at Western Michigan University soon. And I look forward to getting in on some potential RCT-type FAP research, perhaps with adolescents and young adults.
You have to do it.
And thanks for the commentary, Jonathan. In my free time, I like to sing and dance. I like going on hikes in the woods, long walks in the moonlight under the stars. And so I look forward to doing all that with all of you sometime soon. Oh, yeah, I was just kidding about the stars. All right, so I hope that was okay, Lindsay. I'm done. I'm muted.
I'm Meg McKelvey, and I was working at the VA and doing some pilot studies of an intervention for couples to enhance intimacy using FAP. And now I am in private practice. I just transitioned to private practice and trying to figure out how to continue to do some research or be involved in research. Let's see. I've been in touch with Christy Coop-Gordon, who's a couples researcher who's really interested in FAP and couples. So talking to her, going to meet with her again, and we're sort of at just talking about all kinds of different ideas, and but that's all just ideas. So I don't know, just interested in trying to figure some of that out. Also interested in the competency scale. Seems really important. So yeah, I'm just excited to be here and excited about all of your work. So that's all.
All right, awesome, thanks. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Daniel Maitland. I am currently at the University of Wisconsin School of Psychiatry and also affiliated with Western Michigan University with Dr. Scott Gaynor. Let's see. I have been doing work and I'm working on publishing a small FAP RCT that I conducted. I am also doing some research on measurement tools for assessing functional classes of behavior, and specifically the predictive validity of the FAP-Q is what I've been looking at, as well as a tool for a functional assessment of depression that has been developed by Sabrina Darrow. Right now, I'm working on getting a few projects up and going. I'm interested in efficacy research surrounding FAP trainings. So I'm trying to get something along those lines going up. And then I've been working on a project and getting the HSIRB written up for a project looking at dictic framing within FAP. And specifically if perspective taking might mediate changes that we attribute to clinically relevant behavior changes. So looking more at an RFT perspective of FAP and going into that a little bit. So I've got kind of a lot up and going and I'm really excited to do all that. I'm also, I forget my exact title, but research liaison. Thanks, Jonathan, that's all you. I'm working with the center to kind of coordinate researchers around the world and really focus on trying to get dissemination of research out there and establish this as a community rather than a number of researchers that are working in isolation separate from one another. I think it's really important that we kind of recognize the strength of the FAP community in sharing information. Kind of related to that, I'd like to talk a little bit and hear feedback about what would be useful for all of you to get out of kind of group meetings. Is this a space where you'd like to have people present research? Are you wanting to focus more on communication and kind of troubleshooting issues? Is there somewhere in between all of that? We're hoping to have regular meetings and I'd love to hear what all of you think about how to make best use of your time and the time that we have together. And feel free to unmute yourself and speak up or type things out as you think about it.
This is
Thinking.
Meg.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Meg.
Oh.
Go.
I think that for me, I'd really like to get connected to what's going on so I can figure out how to get involved. And so this is just for me. But I think, for example, Joanne and I are giving a training in Denver in September. And I mean, is there some measures that we should give or, you know, that kind of thing? Like it just feels like kind of trying to get hooked in on a lot of different levels just related to sort of various ideas that I have would be really helpful to me. So I know that that may be unique to me, but and also just to feel part of a community is also really nice. So that's me.
Meg, I could do one of these little group presentations just on reviewing FAP measures or something like that. There's a bunch of new measures coming out, and then also we've put a lot of effort into looking through the literature to make sure we know what measures out there are relevant. So I could easily go over that with you personally or with everyone. And then Lindsay says, I'm interested in advice, troubleshooting, support. It seems like the community is so spread out, and I'd like to be able to get more tips for future directions or even support on how-tos with, say, FAP measurement. Can this also be a diary card
Hopefully, yeah.
or hard support group?
Hopefully there won't be hard.
Yeah, that all sounds really good. Do you know, I troubleshooting with diary cards. It's a joke. Lindsay's still trying to fix her joke. You know, I just want to say real briefly, as you guys are thinking about when that popped, apparently, you'll have to explain it to me, Lindsay. Keep trying. Don't give up. Don't give up on the joke. I've learned to be extinction resistant with my jokes. No, what I want to say is, I think I may be the only one in this group right here who, well, I don't know. I know every one of you pretty well in this little group right here, and Adam and Victor too. And Daniel and I have been talking about doing this, trying to get the FAP community together, specifically to talk about research, to try to have a better coordination and communication of research ideas. As Daniel said, we've been talking about this for a while, and I know Daniel feels really passionately about it. And so I think we've officially given you some sort of title in our center, right, Daniel? You're like scientific outreach coordinator or something like that. I don't know, but Daniel, well, we'll keep working on a title that makes you sound as important as possible. But Daniel and I really feel this is important, and so I just want to support Daniel in doing all of this. And what I want to say is, I know each of you pretty well in different ways, and what I'm aware of right now is how each of you are sort of in different places in your lives. Meg, you're in private practice now. Alessandra, you're just finishing up your dissertation. Amanda, you're about to start at Reno. Yana, you're working on your dissertation. Daniel, you're now going on you've now started internship and you're looking for a postdoc. Lindsay, you're just starting at Western. Victor is working on his dissertation, and Adam is maybe, hopefully, if we all get what we want, is going to be going to graduate school in the next couple of years. So, everyone's in different phases. Everyone has different amounts of resources, different amounts of time that they're able to commit to FAP research amidst all the other stuff that you're trying to do, just to squeeze it in. And yet you all decided to sort of join in this phone call simply because this is something you care about. And I've said this to each of you privately, and I really mean it. I really want to support everything you guys are trying to do here in every way I can. Obviously, I have only limited amount of time in my day too, but I really want to support whatever you guys can do. That's part of just my job as well as part of who I am and who I want to be. So I hope you feel that from me. And at the same time, I think it's important for the FAP community for people to go off on their independent directions and do whatever it is they want, even if it's not necessarily what I'm doing at this center. So I think that's good. That's good too. So it's all good. I just wanted to sort of say that I'm just appreciating how everyone's at different points in their careers and maybe have different resources available to commit to this, and I want to work with all of you for wherever you're at and whatever you can do. So that's my spiel. I'll stop now.
So I can kind of speak a little bit about what I'm looking to get out of this. Sorry, I hope I'm not talking over anyone. A lot of what I'm interested in is I've found that I go about once a year without hearing about much of what's going on in the community. That I'll meet everyone at a conference, get 1 week of getting really excited about research, and then have difficulties coordinating or falling out of touch, and then I go a while again. And so a lot of this for me is about keeping everyone on the same page and staying connected in a way that we can support each other and be kind of inspired by one another. That all of the research that we do should be informing other research. That's the beauty of research, is it's building off of it. And so the fact that we can work together, understand resources, share ideas, it takes a community to really do this, and I think FAP is uniquely positioned to utilize that community. So I want to hear in detail about what everyone's doing, what measures they've used that have worked or haven't worked. Lindsay was trying to say, I think, how to get people to fill out their damn diary cards, because that's impossible most of the time. And I think we've all had these struggles that we recognize kind of what's best, and we're coming up with different ideas of how to measure that, and we all have different accesses. So let's make the most out of everything that we have and all the brain power we have, share ideas, and continue. Thanks, Jonathan. I always knew I was the funny one out of us. And really try to work together to get this going in the right direction, and continue the momentum in FAP research that has really just taken off in recent years, as Victor and Jonathan's recent article kind of showed, that there is a recent growth in FAP research, and I want to keep that going and make sure we keep that momentum.
Probably not the best thing to do would be for this to turn into me just presenting on various things, once a month or every other month. I'm happy to sort of fill in if no one else has something to present. Like, for example, based on Meg and Lindsay, I could do something on measures pretty easily. That could be useful. But I'm hoping that if we try to schedule these, and people can show up or not, that it won't just be me sort of doing a presentation every time. That it really will be about everyone bringing their ideas that we can all hear and share. This is easy for me because I do this all the time. It's scary for maybe one of you to say, okay, I'll take a half hour and present my idea. But any support you need to sort of volunteer like that and say, yeah, I'll take a half hour and share my idea. Anything to make that easier for you, so it isn't just me just doing this. I really want it to be that way. Okay. Mute.
Okay, I was thinking, when I listen to the different ideas, is apparently two main topics, RCT studies and translational research. Did you hear me? Yeah. Okay, I was thinking that if it's possible, send an email and we can resume the different topics that we are working and trying to present a resume, and when we can talk about methods, participants, and because I think each presentation it could be the same thing, kind of disorganized or so separate the ideas. I think that resume could be better for us, and try to do some kind of work together with our data. I don't know, I was thinking, and Alexandra and me are working in so similar stuff, and we can work together in that, and people want to work in RCT studies. So what kind of population people can work in this moment with the population that they could work, and trying to have a similar population and do RCT in that kind of similar population in different places of the world. I think that kind of vision of our work could be better or could be useful in this moment. And with that vision, we can do the presentations every time that we meet together. I don't know. I just think that.
So I think what I'd like to do, if everyone's on board, and what I'm kind of hearing is that it might be beneficial for us to say, set up a sign-up sheet, and I'm hoping to have these meetings about once a month. Set up a sign-up sheet and have people reserve essentially half-hour blocks to present on a topic of their interest, and we'll have both who the presenter is as well as their topic, and then we can go from there, have about a half-hour presentation, and then get some discussion going afterwards based on that, and have that as a regular kind of a monthly occurrence where we have it open. We'll try to change the times every now and then. That way it's accessible to more people, as well as recording it and taking notes, so that we can make it fully available to the community in every form. And then perhaps even allowing discussion either in the Facebook group or on the email listserv. Based on that, we can start kind of a new conversation for each presentation. Does that sound like I'm kind of hearing what everyone's saying? Okay. So what I'll do is I think I will create a Google spreadsheet that is accessible and editable by everyone. And we'll start brainstorming dates and times. So I'll start out with it just being, you kind of reserve a month and then we can plan around your schedule as to the specific day. Hopefully with a minimum of say 2 weeks notice, and that way we can coordinate and make sure that people can arrange their schedules a little bit. Get as many people here as possible and make this really accessible. And I'll take care of the logistics side for that. And then we can have kind of you guys supply the brain power and really have this be a group effort. I'm really excited for this. This seems like a really great way to coordinate and collaborate. So I'm really optimistic and excited.
I also wanted to add one thing. We are finally getting our website finished here after a year of various obstacles. But in the hopefully in the sorry, I'm blocking Victor, in the next month or two, right? It should be ready.
Next couple months.
And hopefully by the end of summer we'll have our website. And the reason I'm saying it now is we're going to have a for researchers tab on the website. And then in the For Researchers tab, we're going to put all of the FAP measures and FAP relevant measures and anything else, any other ideas you guys have that would be useful to put up on the For Researchers part of the website, let me know, and we can do it that way as well.
Speaking of the website, maybe it would be helpful to talk about any events that anybody wants to put up.
Oh, also, I don't know if you can hear Adam talking in my ear, but also any events that you guys are doing or know about FAP-related events, we can get those on the website too. So.
All right. If anyone has last comments they'd like to make, please speak up. That was kind of all I had on the agenda. I want to be mindful of everyone's time, that you have something on the hour that's kind of coming up here. So I'll open this up to all of you. And if no one has anything to say, thank you so much for coming. I think this is a really good start, and hopefully we can go and do great things.
Yeah,
I just want to say that I love the idea of to have these meetings, and even if it's difficult at the first moment to organize how to do that, I think it's great to put everyone together to discuss the same stuff, and I love what you're doing, Daniel.
I love what you're doing too, Daniel, and I also just love having an hour to just spend with you guys in particular. It's nice to see everyone's faces. Sorry, Lindsay, we can't see your face or hear your voice, but it's nice to have you a part of it too. It's just great to connect with you guys this way, and so I'm always open to doing this just to have at least this kind of eye contact. So let's keep it going.
Just really appreciate the effort that got put into setting this up, and thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate all of you.
All right. Well, my mom is in town, and it's been about a month since I've seen her, so I'm going to take off. You all have a great day, and I look forward to hearing more from you.
Bye.